Hibs fans arrived at Easter Road on Sunday hoping their team would pile more misery on City rivals' hearts and then party with their newly won CIS Cup after the game. Hearts seemingly in disarray after a 4-0 defeat by Dundee United at Tynecastle, but determined to rain on the Hibs party and cloud the sunshine on Leith.
Fletcher. Whittaker caught out. Driver. This could be promising for Hearts, but Whittaker got back. Salvis, a Portuguese under-21 international. Long throw met by Hogg. Brelier and Karapidis deciding to have a go. Karapidis takes it. And it's going to come through to Driver. Andrew Driver! And a smart save from McNeil.
I don't know why Stephen Whittaker's coming in here. There's no need to come in. Hogg's going to deal with that. And he leaves Driver free. Good effort, good save.
Murphy for Benjaloun. Another foul from Zariukas, who currently far off a card at this rate. It's taken quickly, and Lewis Stevenson has darted into the box. Scott Brown's going to arrive on the scene. Fletcher is there, and Scott Brown! No way through. Whittaker aimed towards Fletcher. Quarter of an hour played, the Edinburgh derby waiting for takeoff. Murphy and Fletcher grabbed by Scotland's #1 keeper.
Well, that's good play from him, switched it from right to left, and it's a good delivery from David Murphy into a decent area, maybe just a little bit high, and Fletcher can't get the power on the header. It's good thinking from a quick free kick when Stevenson made the run. It drops, he just can't get it out his feet. Scott Brown, it's a decent effort.
Hibs are hungry. Murphy takes the corner. And it's going to be another corner.
I'll tell you what, they don't look comfortable for me. Hearts with high balls into their box. That's a couple of headers Fletcher's had, and Benjaloun.
Firm header from Hogg. Pilibaitis. Brelier and Velichka's chasing this. And, oh, David Murphy's giving McNeil a problem with that. He's had to force it over. Very nearly a bizarre OG.
Well, Brelier just hooks it on and behind Jones, and Murphy tucks round as he should be doing. Well, that's going to creep in under the bar.
Buzalan. It's going to drop kindly for Stevenson to have a go, but a comfortable take for Craig Gordon, straight at him.
Good left foot, good technique from him, keeps it down.
Stevenson. Benjaloun is there with him. Stevenson looking for Fletcher. And ball from Pilibaitis. Murphy takes it. And, well, Buzalan probably got in Rob Jones's way then.
Oh, does he give him a shout? Does Jones let him know he's there? He's in a much better position, Jones, as he gets a run on his marker. It was a great ball in.
Last 10 minutes of the Edinburgh derby. Approaching. Ivaskevicius. That time we had another free kick. They've got one. Driver tries again. All the keepers come for it. Not very convincing. And it's been turned in by Zaliukas. And Hearts have struck late on at Easter Road against their fierce rivals. Andy McNeil unable to deal with it. And Hearts may be spoiling the League Cup winning party here.
Quite simply, the goalkeeper doesn't deal with it properly. He just flaps at it, and to be fair to Zaliukas, there's a lot of defending to do, but that's an excellent finish. Keeps it down, and once again, in the derby, Edinburgh derby, John Collins has another goalkeeping error. Looks like it's going to cost them.
And Hibs find a way to goal. It's something they haven't had too many problems with this season. But it's been very much a case of job done by Hearts today. They have made sure the football never flowed. It's Bouzelan! Just wide from the Frenchman.
Just a long ball really up there, and it's Brown, it's forward, it drops. Good touch from Bouzelan. He's trying to cut across it. I think the goalkeeper's always getting there, but it's a decent effort. Brown's just backing in, trying to get forward, look for that equaliser.
Whittaker dithering. Christophe Berra. Fisas losing out. Here's Whittaker. Zaliukas might let Sproul in, and Craig Gordon makes the save.
What a difference having a top-class keeper when they make the mistake, because Sproul does everything right. Goes across, Gordon keeps it low. And that's an excellent save. Frustrated Hibs manager.
Stewart takes it. Rob Jones the target. Show me in there, Jones in there. It's a big old scrap. And an overhead kick from Scott Brown.
That was a right scramble in there. Lots of bodies. It works its way to Brown. It's worth the effort.
Scott Booth was at Easter Road for Setanta Sports, and I suppose we can say afterwards, cleverly, that Hearts got their tactics right, Scott.
Bang on, they did. They had a game plan. It was quite obvious what their intentions were before the game. You could see that they were going to flood the midfield, make it very difficult for Hibs to play, as we know that they can do. And I thought that Hearts started the game quite well. Hibs then came into it, started playing good football in midfield, and I think all credit to Hibs for that as well, because even though that Hearts had flooded that midfield, they still were able to play a little bit of football through Brown and Bouzelan. But in the end, it was all about trying to keep it tight. That's what Hearts did. Get up the park, lay on, and nick the goal. Just no cutting edge for Hibs. As you say, they were playing nice football in midfield, getting to the 18-yard line, and then nothing. Yeah, I mean, I don't like to criticise managers at all, but I just feel that John Collins got this one wrong, because it was one change that he made from the cup final, bringing in Zamama, and he said before the game as well, I'm going to change the tactics slightly today. So we're all thinking it's a 4-3-3. He brought Zamama in just off the front two. Now, I'm not really sure why he did that when you're playing against a Hearts team that are looking to frustrate and also play with two sitting midfield players in Aguiar and Brellier. It just meant that Zamama didn't have any space at all to get on the ball and do his stuff, and I just think that Sproul might have been the better choice earlier in the game. When we see the goal that won the match for Hearts, we can see again that it is, from a Hibs point of view, a goalkeeping blunder, Scott. Yeah, and we've seen many of them in the recent past, but it is a blunder of sorts, not quite as bad as Smolkowski and Brown have shown, but he gets a bit unlucky, I think, as well, because although he comes out and he gets caught under the ball, he doesn't get a good punch on it, he slaps at it a little bit, it falls to Zaliukas and he buries it. I mean, it's a good finish, but it could have gone anywhere. You're also looking for his defence to be a bit more switched on here as well and close down Zaliukas. No one does. He gets a clear shot on it. And, you know, that was the sucker punch in the game because Hearts didn't get forward that often at all. They for me, didn't, in the beginning of the game, didn't look like they wanted to win the game. They were out there for the point. I think they'd been delighted with the point. They went up the park, a mistake from McNeil, and then they get the 3 points.
Andy McNeil may yet prove to be the real deal as a goalkeeper for Hibernian, but it is proving to be a problem position for John Collins, as we've seen all season, Scott.
Yeah, I mean the goalkeeping errors are, you know, they've cost Hibs this season. They've cost them a lot of points, probably the points that would have taken them up closer to Hearts in Aberdeen. You know, Markowski in big games as well, you know, in derby matches, and then Simon Brown. I mean, just to be dropping balls at the feet of strikers, to be letting balls run through your legs. I mean, for a manager, it must be so frustrating. But the one thing is, even though McNeil might end up being the real deal, as you say, I still think they need to get somebody else in that's got experience. I
suspect a lot of the Hibernian supporters will think exactly along those lines. Hibernian had a couple of chances even after Hearts scored to maybe nick a draw. The first one, Scott, coming from Guilan Buzaland.
Yeah, see, this for me was all about, I mean, OK, Buzaland gets himself up the park as well, and obviously they're chasing that equaliser, but it's about Simon Brown, about Scott Brown. Look at him, he's up the park. Now, for me, he's far too often, when he's playing for Hibs recently, further back the park, playing a deeper position, a deeper role. And when you see Scott Brown, you know, doing his stuff, it's always up in an attacking area, and I think that they need to try and play him a little bit further forward.
Great little chance for Sproul there, but again, a good save from Craig Gordon.
See, for a lanky, big lad, Craig Gordon, he gets down so quickly. Look, I mean, it's right. It's one of those as well that if it actually goes in, Jim, you can't criticise him that much because it's quite close to him. It's one of those areas that it's a difficult one for the goalkeeper to get down and get a hand to it, and that's the benefit of having a great goalkeeper in your side. He's going to save, you know, I mean, for Sproul, he did everything right. Sproul goes across the goal, he's gone down low, but, you know, Gordon, he has that quality, and I'll guarantee you that John Collins would fancy a bit of that.
I would think so. Despite being on the losing side, Scott Brown, man of the match at Easter Road, and it was fairly simple to see why, Scott.
Yeah, although I'm not quite sure if I would have given him man of the match. I think he was one of the best players in the park without a doubt. But it's the quality that he has in the forward areas, as I said. You know, and I think that he gets wasted at times in recent months for Hibs, because he's playing that sort of sitting midfield player's role. Doesn't suit him, but this sort of play does. So when he gets on the ball, and he's so dynamic. He gets on it and he drives. He commits defenders. And he's got his head up here, he's looking around him, nothing on, OK, I'll just drive on a little bit more, and then he plays the pass. And that's the benefit of having a player like that in midfield, because sitting midfield players are 10 a penny to a certain degree, Jim. You know, you can get them. The players who maybe are a little bit older, they can just sit down in that area and just kind of give a little bit of experience, take the ball in, make little passes. Scott Brown has the thing that you can only have if you've got the energy and the pace, and that's what he's got.
Well, it was supposed to be Hibs partying after the match, but clearly Hearts decided that they would have a little party of their own at Easter Road on Sunday. Stephen Frail and Craig Gordon embracing there in front of the Hearts supporters, and not surprisingly, Scott, they did not want to leave.
No, they really didn't. It took ages to get them out of the stadium, but you know, I was really pleased for Hearts, because after all the negativity surrounding Hearts over recent months, for them to go to Easter Road and to beat Hibs in the way they did was fantastic for them. But it was a bit of a damp squib. It probably gave them the incentive to go to Easter Road, knowing that this was happening afterwards, and they really did spoil the party.
Yeah, Hibs celebrating eventually at Easter Road on Sunday with the CIS Insurance Cup. Murdo MacLeod and Pat Stanton there in attendance, the last two skippers to lift that trophy alongside Rob Jones. And Hibs, of course, have a Scottish Cup semi-final coming up against Dunfermline. So the possibility of more silverware at Easter Road before the end of the season. We shall see. That Dunfermline semi-final coming up in a couple of weeks, but coming up after the break.